Goalkeepers, nervous strikers, they'll deliver. Crowd roars erupted, you can feel the quake. 80,000 voices.
The Nigerian football fans and football fans everywhere. In this video, we'll be talking about the concept of dual nationality and the fact that it is and can be a poisoned chalice. Now, a lot of times on this channel or that platform, people talk about, players who have dual nationality that's eligible to play for maybe England and Nigeria, or Germany and Nigeria, Spain and Nigeria, Italy and Nigeria. And then you have the question, why don't these players play for Nigeria? What happens if they don't play for Nigeria? Of course, if they don't play for Nigeria, they still can have careers, still can go on, no problem whatsoever. And for me, I don't have any issues with the player that decides to say, look, all I know is German culture, German heritage. I was born in Dusseldorf, and that's all I know when I play for Germany. I don't have any problem with anyone who says, well, I was born in Leeds, all I know is the West Yorkshire culture. I'm English through and through, though my dad may be from Anambra State in Nigeria, but I am through and through an Englishman, play for England. No worries about that, that's fine. But then there are things that come up like, if you play for Nigeria, you wouldn't have a career. If you play for Nigeria, you're playing for a lesser country, which is silly in my opinion. And then there's this thing that I want every dual national to listen to. Now, choosing to play for the European country may have its benefit, may look like the most attractive option or the more attractive option of the two. But sometimes, in many cases, it can be a poison chalice. It can be something, where you don't get the benefits you think you would get. It can be something where your international career completely stalls. Now, take you way, way back. Only the OGs will remember this. So this was in 2003, 2004. There was this player of German and Nigerian heritage. His name is Patrick Owomoyela. So he was playing for Bremen. In those days, he was playing for Bremen, and so he was eligible to play for Nigeria and to play for Germany. So I think he was approached by the NFA at that time, and then you had the likes of you had the FA wanting him to come on board to play for Nigerian Super Eagles. He refused and opted to play for Germany. No worries. But let me tell you this is where I say it can be a poison chalice, because sometimes to be sold to you as a dual national, oh, come on and play. This would be great for you. It would be great for your career, your club career as well. What happened? He played one friendly game for, Germany. He played the full 90 minutes. And then in 2025, I think, he was in the Confederations Cup team, but didn't play a minute for Germany. Then we go on to the 2006 World Cup. He was in the initial, should I say, provisional list, as you say, but he didn't get selected. And that was the end of his career, international career. It was over. It was over and done with. Now you may say maybe he wasn't good enough and all that, but we'll never know. So it's gone. I don't know the reason for it, but that's it. Then let's come to a more recent incident. So we had Jordan Ibe. Jordan Ibe used to play for Liverpool at age grade side. He was a wonderful, amazing talent. That a lot of clubs wanted to sign off from Liverpool. People even touted him to be better than Raheem Sterling at that point in his career. I know Sunday wanted him, but then Mr. Southgate came with all these head games, making him feel like, oh, Nigeria isn't quite the place, and he was holding out to play for England. Now, for me, if you're holding out to play for England, that's your choice. No worries about that. So, Lisa wanted him. He delayed holding out for England. Then, Grenard Rowe, after he took over from Sunday Lisa, he also wanted Jordan Ibe, but Jordan Ibe still refused. Now, where is Jordan Ibe playing? Jordan Ibe is now playing in the 5th tier of English football with Ebbsfleet. And their last game, he was an unused substitute. Imagine playing in the 5th tier of English football and not even being the main man, there you should be like their Messi. You should be the Messi-esque player for that team. But that's where he is. And this is not to say he didn't have talent. Of course he did have talent. But the issue is, when you're not playing at the international level, it also affects how other clubs see you. And one thing I want to point out to dual nationals out there, this is not a scare tactics or anything. If you choose to play for Nigeria, let's say you're playing for Manchester City, you're right back for Manchester City. Even if you leave Manchester City and you join maybe, let's say, a Bournemouth or a Newcastle United, and you're still playing well, you still get the chance to play for the Nigerian Super Eagles. Even if you go to the Serie A or the Dutch League and you're still playing very well at a high level, you would still be invited to the Nigerian national team. And an example was Fikayo Tomori. Fikayo Tomori, eligible to play for Canada, Nigeria, and England. He opted to play for England. And it will shock you, he made a move to AC Milan. So this is not like he was in the second tier of Italian football, maybe Serie B or Serie C. No, he was in one of the foremost European clubs, one of the old school traditional European clubs, most prestigious clubs in Europe, AC Milan. And it wasn't like they were struggling, how you see some old clubs, they're now struggling, involved in a relegation battle. No, they won the Scudetto. He was on fine form. Harry Maguire was absolute rubbish that season. He's still rubbish anyways, but he was absolutely rubbish that season for Manchester United. But Gareth Southgate found a way to convince everyone that he deserved a place in the English national team ahead of Fikayo Tomori. In Nigeria, that's not going to happen. My little brother, it won't happen. It will not happen. And then we move over to Tammy Abraham, Delta boy, my South brethren. He was approached. He chose to hold on for England. He's played a couple of games for England. He's still eligible, anyways, to play for Nigeria. But right now, for me, once you've made that decision, for me, it's difficult for me to want you back. The only way I would want you back once you've made that decision is if now you're on flying form, your career is absolutely scoring goals. Let's say you're a striker like Tammy Abraham is, you're actually smashing goal scoring records. Then I want you back, because what I don't want is a player who is struggling not only to make it in the club, to make it into the national team setup of any European country, because we know issues that can be involved with that. But your career is now dwindling. And then you see, oh, how do I save it? Okay, let's go to the Nigerian Super Eagles. No, we cannot be, your afterthought. No, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So, you see, playing for the European country may be the sexy thing. And that's why sometimes I ask Nigerian fans not to be too harsh on the players. Because this is a psychological programming that has gone on for years and years and years. From when these guys were 8, 9, 10, you've had this in your head. Oh no, you are the good one. Playing for Nigeria will disrupt your career. Playing for Ghana will disrupt your career. This is the where you should play. And then sometimes there's someone who told me something. I was like, come on, are you just making some excuse? He told me, if you're a dual national and you choose early on to play for the African country, your pathway is kind of not the same way. But that will be for another topic for discussion some other time. But this is just to put out this message out there that, you see, opting to play for the other country or playing for the European country, if that's your choice, if you're ready to go into, say, even if I've got one cap and I don't ever play again for England, Germany, Spain, in some other European country, I'm good with it. I'm fine. That's my dream. That's my country. That's where I've grown up, and that's where I want to play. So no matter what, I'm good with that. Fine, perfect, good for you. But don't go and hold on for England, and then they cap tie you, and you play 4 official games, and then you're done, and then, or rather, you've not been cap tied. You've played some games, and it seems like you're now 29, 30, and and then you're looking for where to salvage your career like Shola Amuobi, then you better just stay where you are. So don't just look down on the African country to say, oh no, I'm not going to play here. I will play with the European country, because it may not be all it's cut out to be. It may not be as advertised. And then on the flip side, like what I was saying earlier on, is sometimes this psychological programming affects these players that when they're 16, 17, they're excited to play for Nigeria, for Ghana, for Cameroon, for Ivory Coast, for Morocco, for Egypt, for Tunisia, for South Africa. But as they get older and their ego begins to be worked on, if you play for Nigeria, what are you going to achieve? Are you going to win the AFCON? Is that the tournament you should be looking to win? So, the comments made by Jimmy Carragher doesn't just emerge from the ether. It's something that is part of discussion, in the football sphere in Europe. AFCON is not quite a thing. Why would you want to win it? So, that's that. The Nigeria NFF, and other African football federations should start to build connection with these players and make them see that, come on now, it's a right thing to play for your African country, that there are no issues. And I want to speak to African administrators as well. Don't belittle yourselves. You know what I'm talking about? You know I can see you. Don't belittle yourself and start making silly requests. Because once you make those silly requests, you reinforce all those things that those kids have been told. You reinforce all those things that they've been told since they were young. And they say, oh yeah, it must be true now. So, lastly, before I leave, playing for an African country is something of great pride. Whether you're Moroccan, Tunisian, Nigerian, in this case we're talking about Nigeria, you play for Nigeria. It's a thing of great pride. It's a thing of great pride. And then from the official standpoint, you must be intentional about getting these players, on board. You must be intentional. So at this point, I've come to the end of this video. I hope I see you on yet another video. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. We've gone past 1,000 subscribers, so keep subscribing. Thanks for your support. And I would like to say thanks for watching. I'll see you on yet another video. Stay well and stay blessed. Bye-bye.